3, 2, 1. Yeah, what's happening, guys? It's your boy Wolfie here. We are back. Now, the first thing you can do on this video, as always, is hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also hit that bell so you do get a notification every time I do upload a new video. But if you're a regular down here, you know the video drops at 11 AM UK time every single day, 7 days a week, 28 days to 31 days a month, 365 days a year, and all that good stuff. And also, my Twitch is down in the description below, so if you want to go and drop that a follow as well, it's free to do so. We're pushing nearly 16,500 followers on Twitch, so big ups for that absolutely mental support. Now, first of all, I just want to say a huge thank you, man. 8,000 followers, 8,000 subscribers on YouTube, and that is all down to you guys turning up and hitting that subscribe button. I couldn't do it without you, honestly. Like, end of the day, subscribers, it's not me, it's you, you know. So I want to say a huge thank you. Now, what I have got in today's video for you is I've been messing around with my custom tactics a lot over the last few weekends. Nothing's really working for me at the moment. Nothing is really working. So what I'm going to do, as you are seeing this on the Friday, I want to upload like my custom tactics every Friday, so then you guys can use them for the weekend league, if that kind of makes sense, because these are the custom tactics that I am going to be using this weekend league coming up. I'm kind of very much going back to basics, going back to my roots. There are a few little tweaks. I've been messing around with it in Rivals over the last few days, and they do work. So it is what I'm going to be using on my Road to Glory and my Pay to Win account this weekend coming up. Touch wood, it gets us a 30-0. They are very similar to my 30-0 first in the world custom tactics. So if you guys, especially recently, we've had a lot of new subscribers anyway. So I'm guessing a lot of people in this channel probably haven't seen those 30-0 first in the world custom tactics video anyway. But they are kind of similar to that because, like I said, I'm going to go back to my roots, go back to what I know works with just a few little tweaks. Anyway, back to a bit of normal size. Hello. This is the RTG team that I will be using this weekend league. Obviously, if you missed out my rewards, you're just seeing the good stuff right on your screen anyway. Red Kimmich, Red Gnabry, and Red Sancho. What is that for some luck? Anyway, you guys aren't here for the team. You're here for the custom tactics. I am going to be mainly using the 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, and the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. So I will show you the 4-2-3-1 first. Probably the formation that I'm going to be using the most is the 4-2-3-1. I haven't decided whether I prefer the 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1 yet. I can't seem to get my head around which one I prefer. But anyway, on the defensive style, as always, balance. I used to play a little bit on pressure and heavy touch, but I'm going back to balance. I am then going to 5 width because I like to just keep my width normal. Don't want to go too narrow, don't want to go too wide, just in the middle. King Bob's your uncle. Now, the depth, as always, is going to be on 4. I don't really change my depth too much on the defensive line. Sometimes I play 7 on a narrow or like 5 if I'm feeling a little bit brave. 4. I never really go below 4. 4 is like my limit. If you are someone that struggles defensively, though, anyone that is watching this YouTube video, I would recommend you going down to a 3 depth, okay? 3 depth isn't too ratish in terms of like your defense isn't too deep, but if you are someone that struggles with the defense on this game, lower it down to 3 and you'll probably find that it helps you a world, does you the world of good. Now, long ball, if any of you know the YouTuber pro player #Harry, he plays long ball, and I never really used this until a couple of weeks ago, and I've been experimenting, like I said, over the last few weeks. Long ball for me now is something that really does work. I like balanced, but long ball, it seems to me when I use the long ball, my players get into the attacking options a lot more. They run forward a lot quicker. So because of this, it is a very good custom tactics. These are the custom tactics that I will be using this weekend league. So I'm not lying to you. These are what I'm going to be using, okay? If you are someone that struggles defensively, again, though, I would recommend just playing on balance because on long ball, your players will make a lot more forward runs and it will leave you just a little bit more open, okay? So, again, if you struggle on the defense, lower it down to put it down to balance and you'll be fine. The width, as always, is just on normal 5. I don't really like going too wide or too narrow. I feel like 5 width for me is a really good standpoint. Players in the box on a 4-2-3-1, I always up that to 6 because on the 4-2-3-1, you want as many players in your box as you possibly can get. So my phone is annoying me in my pocket. You're going to want as many people as you can get in your opponent's box, especially your Lamb and a Ram. When you up it to 6 instead of 5, which is on the default, your Lamb and a Ram will get into the box a hell of a lot more. So 6 players in the box is always a good standpoint. As always, okay, your corners and free kicks on the default are going to be 3 and 3. Lower that down to 2 and 2, or else you will get counter-attacked on like you wouldn't believe. It is probably, in my opinion, the biggest thing people need to take from this, and that is lowering your corners and free kicks down to 2. How I'm going to set my team up is a bit irrelevant because everyone will have different teams. But in a 4-2-3-1, I would recommend that either your cam or striker has to have either 5-star skill moves or the 5-star weak foot, okay? So, for example, If I didn't have Cruyff in my team, I would use Eusebio, but then I would then put Sancho in at cam instead of Royce, because I need one of my strikers to have 5-star, one of the striker or cams to have 5-star skills, and one of them to have 5-star weak foot. Obviously, Cruyff is ideal for me. He's got both, so then I'm playing Royce in cam. But honestly, so say you've got a striker like Eusebio with 5-star weak foot, you would then, in my opinion, need a cam with 5-star skill moves, just for the way I play. Not everyone will be like this, so just remember that, okay? Gnabry, Lam and Ram, Witsel and Kimmich, as always, and Reguilon and Hakimi. Now, your striker is going to be on getting behind and stay forward, as always, on the 4-2-3-1. All three of your cams are going to be on getting to the box for cross, and that is it. Everything else is on default. I was trying a bit of drift wide on my middle cam, but it just didn't really work for me. I wouldn't advise using that. It doesn't work well. Your right CDM for me is my defensive one. So he is on cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking, and cover centre. My left CDM is on cut passing lanes and balance attack. So for example, my team this season Kimmich here, or my red Kimmich, he is going to be the one that I call the ball playing CDM. The one that's going to get forward, hopefully make some good stuff happen in the attacking third. And then as always, both of your fullbacks on stay back while attacking and overlap. Overlap doesn't mean anything because they're on stay back while attacking, but I put it on just in case they do edge forward a little bit, so they will be on the overlap rather than inverted or mixed attack. Again, they don't really go forward because they're on stay back while attacking. But the reason for getting to the box for cross on your three cams, okay, is because in the 4-2-3-1, a lot of people do struggle to score some goals and break teams down, okay, break people down. Put them on getting to the box for cross. It will just cause more mayhem for your opponent when he's trying to defend because you'll have more people in the box. Now, that is the custom tactics I'm going to be using for the 4-2-3-1 this week. Probably my main formation I'm going to use. I haven't really decided yet. But another main formation that I'm and ahhing in between is the 4-4-2, okay? Balanced defensive style with 5 width. And the reason for the 3 depth on the 4-4-2 is because I struggle to use the 4-4-2 in terms of defending. So I lower my depth just a little bit just to leave me on the safer side. Because you got to remember, on the 4-2-3-1, okay, you'll have your 2 CDMs doing the CDM role. But on the 4-4-2, they are both centre mids. They're not on the CDM. So the gap between your centre backs and centre mids sometimes can be a little bit too much for my liking. Once again, long ball on the custom tactics. Up the width and the players in the box to 6. I have more width on a 4-4-2 because I like my wingers to stay wide a little bit more on the 4-4-2. I feel like it works best for me. If you are struggling to use the 4-4-2 in terms of the attacking play, or if you're struggling with the defense on it, once again, lower the offensive style to balance instead of long ball. Because on long ball, your left mid and right mid will really bump forward very quickly. So you need to remember that. It's really good for counter-attacking, though. Really good for counter-attacking. And then corners and free kicks, as always, like I said, it will be on 3 and 3 default. Lower that to 2 and 2. So it saves you getting counter-attacked on from your own corners if you mess up. Now, how do I set up the 4-4-2? Kind of very similar to the 4-2-3-1, okay? You're going to want one of your strikers to have 5-star skill moves and one of your strikers to have 5-star weak foot. Obviously, if you're like me and Cruyff's the only one with the weak foot, well, he's got 5-star, 5-star, so boom, sorted. I did try Sancho up front instead of Royce, but Royce up front in the 4-4-2 with me, he just seems to be absolutely deadly, man. He seems to have this connection with Cruyff that's insane. Kimmich and Witsel, you're going to want one ball-playing CDM and one out-and-out CDM. Obviously, Witsel for me is my out-and-out CDM. Kimmich is my ball-playing CDM. As long as your wingers have got pace, that's all that matters. And as long as your fullbacks and your centre-backs have got pace, that's all that matters. Now, get in behind and come back on defence on both of your strikers, okay? The comeback on defence, like I always say with the 4-4-2 custom tactics, is actually an attacking move rather than a defensive move because they're in a better position for the counter-attacks when they're on comeback on defence. So you guys might see it and use it as like a defensive move, but it's actually an attacking move. Your left mid and right mid is going to be on comeback on defence, getting behind and getting to the box across. I use comeback on defence on my left mid and right mid because I do struggle. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I do struggle sometimes to defend well in the 4-4-2. So I want as many people back as possible in terms of not to leave myself too open because the 4-4-2 is definitely more attacking than a 4-2-3-1. So you're trying to balance it out and try and negate the negatives with the positives. Your right centre mid for me is what I call my out and out CDM. So Witsel, he is on stay back while attacking and cover centre. My left centre mid once again is Kimmich, and he is what I call my ball playing centre mid, my attacking centre mid. So I leave him on balanced attack with cover centre. I leave him on balance just because I want him to try and get involved and try and score as many goals as he possibly can. Stay back while attacking and overlap on your fullbacks. Again, overlap is irrelevant because of the stay back while attacking, but just in case they do decide to go forward, do an overlap. Now, for last but not least, a formation that I very much do like, but I just haven't seemed to have got the click with it just yet. The 4-1-2-1-2-1-2 narrow. Wait, the 4-1-2-1-2-2 narrow. Yeah, perfect. A very solid formation, one of my favourite formations over the FIFA years. Gorilla used to be goated with this formation. I know Dollar Mike used this formation a lot this year at some events, so it is a very viable option. Now, I do not play, I play balanced 5 width and 4 depth, and you see the offensive style. I do not play long ball with the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow because I don't have any players out wide, so the long ball kind of negates that, okay? So you want to leave it unbalanced. I use this formation, the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, when I feel like I'm just not creating anything at all. You all have these games, won't you? Anyone that's still watching the video. You have these games in the weekend league where you're using the 4-2-3-1, you're using the 4-4-2, and you're like, man, I'm just not creating anything. Nothing's working. So when this happens, that is then when I then switch into the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. Balanced offensive style, 5 width, 5 players in the box, 2 corners and 2 free kicks. And once again, very balanced in terms of not too attacking, not too defensive, just all and out. Now, how do I set it up in-game? I play Witsel CDM, Kimmich is my right centre mid, and Serge Gnabry as my left centre mid. Interesting. I then play Sancho and Cam with Cruyff and Royce up front. What do you need? I'd say from your middle cam, they have to have 5-star skill moves, just for the way I play. If they don't, if you're someone that doesn't use skill moves, try and have people with 5-star weak foot, okay? So like Eusebio, people like that. And then up front, for me, they have to have at least 1 5-star skiller and at least 1 5-star weak foot. Obviously, I've got Cruyff, which is both, so that's ideal. Now, I use drift wide and getting behind on the 2 strikers, okay? I use drift wide because it stops it being so narrow, because a lot of people do have a lot of players in the middle of the pitch, so it does get very congested in there. So I have drift wide and getting behind on both strikers. Stay forward and get into the box for cross on my middle cam. Get into the box for cross is key. If you are someone that is struggling defensively with the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, I would recommend putting your middle cam on comeback on defense. Just try and get more people back to try and help you with the defending, but I don't like that, okay? My left centre mid and my right centre mid are both on completely default settings. I haven't touched what player positioning or anything like that, so just whatever the default is in the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, that's what I use on that. So it's balanced attack, balanced crossing runs, normal interceptions, stick to position, and cover wing. Cover wing because I want them to try and help the left back and right back out against the overlap. I then have my CDM on cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking, and cover centre. And then last but not least, as always, stay back while attacking and overlap on the left back and right back. Now, boys, they are the custom tactics that I'm going to be using this weekend league. I really do hope that you guys give them a try. And if you did enjoy this video, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're not far off 10k, you know. We're actually less than 2,000 subs away from 10k. We can do it, boys. Between, what's the date? Hold on. 21st of May. Can we get to 10,000 subs by the end of April? Wait, January, February, March, April, May. No, by the end of June. Oh, wow, that sounds so thick when I say that. Can we get to 10,000 subs by the end of June? That's the aim, boys. Let's see if we can smash it. And I'll see you next time. Tomorrow's video will be how to play a switch with the right analog stick and LB. A lot of effort has gone into tomorrow's video in terms of gameplay highlights and stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'll see you next time. Peace.